grizzly bear. Oh boy, and we're charging at me too. Hey, Stuart here. Let's find out how's the hike on the Clearwater Red Deer Circuit. Ho, 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 ho. Great to be back on this trail. 6 years ago, about a week ago, let's say the anniversary, 6 years ago of Evelyn and Olivia's first backpack in the Canadian Rockies when we did the Molar Loop. There's a link above if you want to click on that and take a little little time travel backwards when we all looked a little younger and felt a little younger. Holy moly. Just had to climb up out of the Icefields Parkway, and I forgot about that initial little climb. Pretty gradual from here on up to Mosquito, which is our first milestone for the day at about 5K. And I've got to do 16 and change. Let's say 16.4 according to the sign to get to Fish Lakes for tonight on this 140 kilometer odyssey, which I'll take you through the trip planning and everything that's going on a little later. Anyway, out of the 16.4K, 13 are basically uphill to varying degrees. And I've got the heavy backpack today, obviously, with, well, I'm loaded to the gills, let's put it that way, for such a long trip. So it's going to be a good workout. Come on along for the ride. .7 kilometers, and I'm coming into Mosquito. It's taking me just about an hour, a little less. There's a bear hanging through there, hard to see. That's the first thing you'll see as you come into camp. And you'll swing around here and you'll see picnic tables and even see people enjoying lunch. This is a great place for a day hike. Also a great place for, well, be a good one-nighter for the one night stand playlist, actually. It's a pretty walk up the creek, and this is a lovely campsite. So I'm going to sit here and take a break, which is logical. Just a place to stop before heading up the hill. Nice little break here at Mosquito. Just checked my track from when I did the Molar Loop with the girls, and I tracked 10.37 kilometers from here to Fish Lakes. So let's see what's right. Because it should be about 11.4 according to the sign at the front. So that's a whole kilometer difference. One thing I can tell you for certain, it's basically all uphill to the pass. And then once you descend very steeply, it's a nice walk into Fish Lakes. But that's only probably a couple kilometers worth out of the whole ordeal. So up we go, and we'll see if the wildflowers are still in bloom. One of the greatest meadows in the Rockies. For that, it's all about timing. This is a major intersection and one you want to take note of, because if you go that way, you're going to North Molar Pass like I am. If you go that way, you're going to Molar Pass. And I love the old signs. It's cool. And there it is. A lot of places to go. You can see Molar Creek, Pipestone River. That's the way I'm coming back, right? So that's the plan at this moment. Hey, look at this. Just going to zoom in for you. Brace yourself. A little glacier up there. And there's a little waterfall coming off of it. You can even hear it. Starting to emerge from the trees, which is nice because something to look at always makes it easier. And there'll be lots to look at momentarily. I always say look back. I always say the same words when I say I always say look back. Anyway, one of the great pictures I have from backpacking is of the Evan Liv girls in front of this, looking back. I'll flash it up, of course. Wow. Yeah, time flies, doesn't it? Speaking of that, I've missed the wildflowers by at least a couple of weeks. I thought that might be the case because, well, everything's early this year here. Everything. So the flowers have had their glory, but it is still a gorgeous meadow. and I'm going to be in it for a while. See what I mean? Yeah, she's a long way. Now, you can also scramble up and through that way. There's a col up there. And down on the other side of that, just past Moose Lake, is another lake where the trail kind of comes out. I'll call it a trail. I'm bringing it up because a friend, Phil, is going to meet me tomorrow right around that spot and join me for 2 nights, Devon Lakes and probably down to Trident. And then he's going to make his way up Martin Creek, Upper Martin Falls and all that stuff, and then back out. And I will carry on with the rest of the Clearwater Red Deer Circuit. But that's going to be cool. Haven't met Phil in person. We're kind of like, backpacking forum pals. And super guy out here doing epic stuff. And, that would be pretty epic, all right. And there goes backwards in the elevation gate. That kind of puts it in perspective. The valley to the right is Mosquito Creek. Came right up her. Okay, a bit of a reprieve before another climb. I've been through that notch. She's a beast. But once we get to the other side, the views are going to be stunning. Big shout out to John and Helen. Oh my God. 2 of the nicest people I've ever met on the trail, ever. Big part of our Brazo Loop hike, that great group we were in camp with most nights. Helen gave the girls some bacon one morning at Jonas Cutoff. These are the things you remember. And they're just wonderful people. In fact, John had just commented on a video like last week. So there's a nice selfie of us. I've got John's phone number, so I'll message this selfie to him. And guys, great memories and just so great to see you. You put a spring in my step on this climb, that's for sure. I do love our backpacking community. It really is. It's just awesome. So that was just great. Wow, it's not even August yet. Oh, August 1st is tomorrow. And there's no snow lingering here. I've never seen that before this early. Wow. Just a few more steps. Holy moly. Gotcha. Ho, ho, ho. Time for a well-earned break before heading down there. If you're counting, 11.5 kilometers to the pass. So I forget what it said on the sign down there. I thought it said 13 to the pass. 16.4 to the campsite. That part I remember. So, well, let's see what happens. Now, this is the part of the hike you look forward to when you've just done all that climbing, 11.5 kilometers uphill. That said, I remember this. This is pretty steep in places. So you really have to pay attention, until you pick your way all the way down to the green, let's say. So I'm going to do that, and you'll see the results next. Hello, beautiful. Oh, baby, finally. No campfires. Which way was I supposed to go? Let's see what happens. Well, that brought me to the tent pad area. Eating areas down that way. And food storage in the outhouse, if I recall, are back that way. But I will show you around and refresh my own memory once I find a nice flat spot to set up. Okay, as promised, old trip planning, I'll try to lean in so you can see me, because if I back off too far, the iPhone picks up the light of the mountain behind me, which is kind of washed out as I look at it when it zooms in on me. So trip planning. I'll make it quick. Clearwater Red Deer Circuit. Yep, same hike Marty up north and I tried to do when I flared up my IT bend. And, you know, we were going to do a little different ending. We were going to end at Skokie and come out that way. Why? Water. And here's the crux of the whole situation. There are two big river fords on this hike. One is coming up in a couple of days down the Clearwater River. The other one is the Pipestone River, and that's pretty crucial for me to get back to my car. If I can't get across the Clearwater in a couple of days, which I really doubt, but if I can't, I just turn around, come back. No problem. But if I get all the way to the Pipestone, now I got a problem. I have to backtrack all the way to Red Deer Lakes and then go out at Skokie. Why am I worried about the Pipestone? I shouldn't be because of this. I'm going to flash this up. Yeah, have a look at this. This is Alberta Water Basin's website. You can go there yourself. Look at the flow and the height. It's so low for this time of year. It's way below its average. It's below the lowest of its average, which is why I think right now Pipestone should be doable. And Clearwater, because of that, Clearwater should be doable as well. We'll just have to see what the mix is over there at the headwaters. There are some glaciers in the area, but I'm not sure if they're going to have an impact or not when it gets hot and melts and things like that. So, yeah. So tomorrow I'm meeting Phil. Phil, as I mentioned earlier, is a prolific backpacker out here. We've never met. Phil is going to scramble over the coal and meet me at this little lake. I'm going to flash that up. You can kind of see the trail and you can kind of see the little lake. And then we're going to spend the night at Devon Lakes. And the plan was to go down to Trident the next night so he can go up Martin Creek and see the falls. He's done it before, but that's kind of how he's going to exit. And I'm really thrilled that he's going to come up and meet me because we've talked a lot online, but we've never really met. And he's got so much information and knowledge, and that's my point. Phil has already told me where all the great campsites are on this entire route. But tomorrow night I'm going to talk to him about mileage and distances and trail conditions, which change, of course, but overall generally. Because now I'm thinking I may need to get across the Pipestone before that storm hits a week from tomorrow. And that means I'm going to have to put a couple of long days in, maybe in the 25K range. Hey, those aren't long days, but it depends on the trail conditions, right? I just finished Castlegar Meadows and it took me as long to do like 10K or something as it did from when I did 26K out on Skyline. So it just depends on the trail conditions. So I'll pick Phil's brain tomorrow. Hopefully he'll allow himself to be on video and we can do a little talk about the trails and put it together, because tomorrow's only like 15K to Devon Lakes. And then if we go to Trident, it's only 12.8 or 13. So, you know, still a little bit under that 14K average when I'm trying to look to speed up. So his tips are going to be pretty awesome, I think, in that regard. And I'm looking forward to meeting him in the morning. So that's it for trip planning. Of course, I have it all scheduled out. I have 10 days of food, you know, in case I get hung back or something like that happens. And that made today heavy. Oh, it was heavy. All that extra food. And so tonight I'm about to have supper and I'm going to eat the heaviest thing in food bag number 1. That's the last thing. On a trip like this, I have 2 5-day Ursecs. So when this one's empty, great. I just bring the other one out and I've got everything I need there for the next 5 days. But tonight is the heaviest of them all. So I'm going to have some supper and then I'll show you Fish Lake and call it a night because this old boy is tired. A little shot of why everybody comes here. Keep my voice down. There's lots of folks around now, of course. When I got here, there was nobody. It was a shock. Like, how did I get here first? Slowest guy in the world. So if you look down this way, I'm going that way tomorrow. And not far from camp when I make the left-hand turn to take the high route to Pipestone Pass. They've closed the low route for Grizz, which is fine. That's been that way quite a while. And if you watched our Motor Loop video, I think I showed you the sign. Motor Loop, if you're going to do that, you're going down that way. Because what's going to happen is you're going to go all the way around there, up the Molar Creek Trail, and you'll end up on the other side of that big wall right there. So really, really cool. And it's a stunning place. So I'm going to wrap it up actually because I'm pretty tired and not a big day tomorrow, but you know, setting myself up for some big days. And had a lovely meal of lasagna. Met some other folks coming into camp. I'll leave you with that. Well, why not? Leave you with that as well. It'd be rude of me to say good night without looking at you. So 5 seconds for you. I'm going to sleep. See you in the morning. Good morning, day 2. Look at that long shadow right there. Hello. Morning. a completely placid upper fish lake this morning. Yes, I'm whispering because, of course, there are people everywhere, and I just like to be respectful. Now, get your sunglasses on. Boom. Bluebird. And I'm heading up that way after coffee and breakfast, and swinging back around to the lake here. Look at that. A little zoom up there for you. Upper Fish Lake, or whatever it is. Anyway, yeah, so like I said seconds ago for you, about a 15K day to Devon Lakes, and then I'm going to pick Phil's brain and see if I can put a couple of days together here, and where that would be smart to do. That's the key, right? So hopefully I'll hear from him on the Garmin in an hour or so, and that'll be the, second milestone of the day. First one will be the fork, heading left, and the patrol cabin, and then meeting Phil at an unnamed lake up past Moose Lake. So, coffee and breakfast. Leaving Fish Lakes, Upper Fish Lake to be exact, as I just said. Lots of footprints, and lots of reports of lots of people at Devon Lakes over the last few days. Large groups actually and stuff. That actually is a pretty popular spot past here. You get Pipestone Pass in and stuff, and it's a pretty spectacular area that I'm excited to see. That said, I just messaged Phil and said, look, I'm flexible. If you want to go a little further today, it's early. So, no point in being in camp at noon. But that's a group decision. We'll see. It's nice to have him with me for a couple of nights before I head down and ford the Clearwater River with hopefully a much lighter pack. First thing I want to show you is this. Pipestone Pass, Pipestone River. I'm bearing left. If you were doing the Molar Loop, you would bear right. Now, uncharted territory for me, and this is awesome. This is what I want to see. Oh, good. Coming into the cabin. I wanted to see this. A little help for the hikers. I think we're going past the outhouse. Let's go have a look at this. See if there have been any signs of recent activity. Ooh. Well, I gotta say, the horse pens look like they've been churned up this year. And yeah, for sure. Wow. Yeah. Nice. Oh, look down here at the firewood. Somebody left their axe out. Let's go below. Yeah, there's lots of footprints in here. It's probably from hikers, but horse as well. Fish Lakes Cabin. Oh, interesting. They've locked the outside of these. So in Jasper, you can, if you want, take that bar off and look inside for a blast to the past. Here they got them all locked up. Must be a different system. Nice little spot. Very nice little spot. All kinds of chicken wire. Keep the animals out. That's a nice way to start the morning. Trail straight ahead. We'll call this a rock hop. I don't believe it's worthy of the Ford cam. But a little deeper than I thought. Let me see if I can, it's early days here. Let me see if I can pick my way across here. Beautiful clear water though, look at that. Finally emerged out of the tree line. Some switchbacks and pretty steep in places. You gave away a lot and you had to gain it back. So now out in this beautiful meadow, a little bit of sunshine on my shoulders, that makes me happy. Whew. Oh, sunshine in my eyes makes me cry, although the only thing in my eyes right now is sweat. Same idea? I don't know. Give you a little shot here of Moose Lake. What a tranquil, beautiful spot this is, and the water is very clean. Silty on the bottom, which is usual. Look at that. Phil's coming down on the other side of this at the next lake, which is unnamed. But there it is, Moose Lake. We are now in the random zone. First close-up marmot. Hello, little man or woman. How are you? I'm gonna make my way right where you are. Why are you on the trail? Get moving. There you go. I always love it when I can look ahead and see the trail way off in the distance. I don't always love it, however, when I see the trail goes straight up a hill. I'm pretty sure just on the other side of that big rise will be where my rendezvous is with Phil as he makes his way down this monstrosity. Holy mackerel. Well, he beat me to it. If I'm gonna guess, it's Phil up there. Let me zoom in, brace yourself. There he is, sitting there in the middle of your frame. All right, a few more minutes, I'll be with him. Well, there's Phil. Phil's agreed to be on video. Not shy at all.
Hello.
Phil, as I mentioned, is epic out here. Came down from up here. Let me just show you up here, right up there, and then down this way. And I was saying, oh yeah, people want me to do that stuff, but I'm afraid of heights. So we're heading up to Pipestone Pass now, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting up over this little hill, seeing the view. Well, there's a view. All right, Phil tells me Pipestone, we're going straight up that way. Look at this. Woo! I say this all the time, Phil, it's why you hike, right?
Right.
This is why you do it. Look at that, all the huffing and puffing. And what a day, just look at that. We've just stopped. We heard a lone wolf and now we've heard a pack, haven't we? Yeah. We're gonna wander over to this ridge and look down to see if we can see them.
Of course they've stopped now.
They have stopped now. Maybe they've seen us. I would bet.
Yeah.
They don't miss much. As I say, always look back. Oh man, now I'm gonna pan slowly this way for you. I'm gonna show you the trail, which is straight ahead. Can you see it? Well, I'll zoom in. Brace yourself. There it is, going straight up there. And over to the right. Pipestone Pass. I've already warned Phil about my uphills. I'm legendarily slow. So he's going to show me the way. Because I think it's pretty much all uphill from here to the top.
It's all uphill.
It's all uphill. Here we go. I just told Phil I wanted to get a video of the other trail. Truth is, I'm already out of breath. There it is down there. You can look, it goes all the way down. Yeah. So down at the cutoff from Fish Lakes, they have a big sign that says, you know, kind of closed for grizzly bear habitat. And Phil said that he has sometimes scrambled up here and there've been lots of diggings and stuff. So funny how that's prime grizzly habitat, but not this side. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, the upper route is a whole lot better. Well, a few seconds ago for you, but quite a while ago for me, I mentioned the change in the trail, not going through the valley. And this is why. Trail not maintained, protecting bears, not recommended. Oh, so that's it, Phil. It's not closed, yeah. It's not recommended. And then we're going over this way where the view is going to change in a pretty spectacular way.
You actually annoyingly go up to the right a little bit.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, we're going up there. That's not nice. Why can't we go that way? We had a little snack, a little lunch, lingered. Look at this view. You can see where we're going, obviously, in the frame. Gonna head down the Clearwater River in the valley, and I'm excited about this new territory for me. I'm pretty lucky that Phil's here for the next couple of days because he doesn't know it, but he's going to be giving me a lot of information.
I'd love to join for the whole thing, but...
Oh, that'd be great. We could ford the Pipestone together.
I can hold your hand as you go.
Yeah, there we go. Oh dear. All right, Phil's just told me my bearings. Straight down the Souffleur Valley. That eventually curves around to the left and goes down to Helen Lake. And then there's a gap here. See this peak? Little gap there. We swing around and head down the Clearwater Valley. But look at that view. $1 million view. I know, some flowers, finally. We're a little late to the party, but they look beautiful. Phil just made a great point about showing the difference in usage. This trail to your left goes down the Siffleur, and we're going right down the Clearwater. So if you get to this point, pick wisely. Although this looks, the tread here looks a lot better. Well, third mountain pass in less than 2 days. This is Clearwater Pass we're working our way through. Once we peek out and start heading down, we'll be in the Clearwater River Valley. Well, there's a shot of what's behind us. Always look behind. I don't have any intention of coming back this way, but one never knows. And we were just talking, you could probably tuck down in there if you had to. In a bad storm, you want to get out of the lightning, of course. And the headwaters of the Clearwater River. And look at this gorgeous valley. Next milestone will be the lakes. And then we have a little chat to have about how far we want to go today. Look at that. Yeah, Phil's smiling. Yeah. Hey, how far do we want to go today?
It's afternoon tea.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, high tea. Smile. Tracking game. And there's our first view of Upper Devon Lake. The blue one off in the distance. Upper Devon Lake, just going to zoom in here. That's quite a fortification they built there. Yeah, little makeshift campsite. Lots of water here, of course. We just stopped and tanked up on very clear water. Speaking of Clearwater Lake, so Phil and I were just sitting here, and when I finish today, I'll be at about 25, 26K. Phil will be well into the 30s. But Phil's humoring me because I'm trying to set up my days, and we're going to go down to Clearwater Lake. So about 10K from where we stand. It's early though too, right? What are we going to do here all afternoon? I guess you could explore a little bit, but like what? Wander around the hills. Anyway, it's a gorgeous spot. You could do that. We're going to press on. Although then Phil joked and said, eventually you're going to get tired and say, we're camping here. That could happen. No, we'll make it. There it is. Look at that. Gorgeous. Great view of the valley. We're going down pretty steep, but we're going to cut through. See that? It looks pretty narrow, but it's probably not. But we're going to sweep left. Look at this. Stunning. Nice random horse camp. Little grill for your steaks. Wouldn't that be tasty tonight, eh? Yeah, look at that. Well kept. I'd camp here. You could tie them up here, or you could hobble them up there. Interesting. This is cool. Yeah.
Looked after a little bit.
It is looked after. It's nice. Yeah. Yeah, I'd camp here if I find the water. Mm-hmm. Nice to see fresh trail work. It's really nice to see this fresh trail work, isn't it?
Yes.
Look at this beast. Actually, we're following horses, and now we're wondering if we're going to see anybody at the patrol cabin. Hard to say, but if it is a Parks Canada group, look at all the fresh cuttings, and boy, do we appreciate it.
Indeed.
Because that's a biggie. Nice view of the Clearwater. Starting to build up a little flow with all the other drainage just cutting in. I just joked to Phil. I said, I could walk across that. And he's like, what a spoil sport. He goes, well, there's a lot more water to add to it before you get there. Oh, come on. Anyway.
You get too excited. Gotta temper that down a bit.
We're about 4K from camp tonight, and less than 2K probably from patrol cabin. And when I see that landmark, I'm going to show you. Coming into the patrol cabin. Cute little spot. Nice firewood. Oh, look. Folks, a pro tip. No camping at wardens' cabins. And look, they've even got a sign over here with a tent on it that says no camping. Clearwater Lakes Cabin. Let me zoom in for you, give you a nice look. Look at that. Walking along Clearwater Lake, looking for some lovely little spots to tuck in for the night. A little bit of willow action. Yeah, it feels around the 33K mark. I'm probably 25 or 26. So it's time to look around. Once we do, I'll show you around. Little shot up the lake from my tent pad. We're well off the trail. We ate and stored our food well downwind. And we're hoping a little wind comes up to get rid of the epic bugs. It's that time of night, right? Sun's gone down behind this range over here. And the bugs are out looking for something to eat. So what a day. It was great to meet Phil finally. We've talked a lot, had a great day hiking and chatting, and 2 mountain passes today. The Pipestone and the Clearwater. No mountain passes tomorrow, but the day after for me, probably Divide Pass. So gonna rest up for tomorrow, which should get me down probably, well, we're gonna talk again in the morning, but probably to the ford, onto the Peters Creek Divide Creek Trail. Probably about 18 kilometers from here-ish. Hard to get the map to snap, so it's hard to know exactly, but it's close enough. And yeah, and then there might be an old outfitter's camp about 800 meters up the trail across the river. So if I can get across tomorrow afternoon, that might be an option for some nice flat space and maybe a place to sit, which is always nice on the trail. So anyway, it was just a phenomenal day. We had excellent weather, great company, and the scenery was epic, including this. I'll leave you with this tonight. Gorgeous. Looking up the Clearwater Valley. See you in the morning. Morning, day 3. A little water vapor coming off the lake down there. Some sun starting to paint the mountain. And this is our view. It's so quiet. Phil's down there getting his coffee going or tea or whatever he has. Sun is just thinking about coming up, and I hope it comes up soon because holy wet. Oh, everything. Even my trekking pole had beads of water on it this morning. And I put my pants on and they're kind of soggy. So, yeah, going to be kind of a damp start. Typical. But the last couple nights I've had no condensation at all. So I've been pretty fortunate that way. Anyway. I should say the first night, because this is only the 3rd day. Oh, I think I need coffee. That's a plan. Nice early start for us this morning. Phil was up early, and I didn't hear him. I was awake, just kind of laying there pondering life. Still haven't figured that out. But, yeah, so 4K to Martin Lake and Martin Creek. And that's where we'll part ways. I'll explain that later. And then Phil's going to head up Martin Creek, Upper Martin Falls, and then on to Siffler and Quartzite Coal. And I'm going to head down to the ford of the Clearwater over to Peters Creek Trail. And Canadian Rockies Trail Guide says there's an outfitter's camp maybe 800 meters from the intersection. So if I can get across this afternoon, I think that's the goal for the day. And get up early tomorrow morning and up over Divide Pass. So another gorgeous morning, and we're already cruising. Martin Lake. This is not Martin Lake, Martin Creek. And it's time to get the feet wet. All right, I'm gonna put my gaiters on because I don't have them on. Lots of horse crossings here. That looks pretty tame, Phil.
It is.
Phil's gonna show me how it's done. Put knee high to Phil there. You sinking in?
Not too bad, no. It's kind of rocky.
Gotcha. All right. I'll be next. All right, well done, Phil. Here we go. We're going to get our feet wet this morning. That's for sure. Oh, yep, already. Well, it's not too cold. Pretty rocky. I kind of see through it, which is kind of cool. That's helpful. We're wet. Woo! Just off the trail, here are the falls. Wow. Look at this. Let me just pan this way for you. That's amazing, isn't it? Not a place to ford. Wow, I'm gonna sit here and empty my boots. Well, just sit here and drain my boots and say goodbye to Phil. Phil's heading up Martin Creek, Upper Martin Falls, into Souffleur, and as I said a few seconds ago, over Quartzsite Cove. He was planning to spend 2 nights with me, but I said to him, when we got to Devon Lakes yesterday at 1 something, it was like 1:15, 1:30, we're both like, we can't stop now. So Trident Lake would have been our second night, and a couple of short days just to hang out, because I'd never met him before, and we had a great time, a really great time. And he knows, this guy's hiked almost every trail in Banff National Park, and just a super guy to hang out with. It's amazing when you meet other people with a passion for this, how much you have in common and you can talk about, and shared experiences. So Phil, thank you so much for coming out to meet me. I really loved it, and I'm really sorry things kind of got changed, but you know, you're out here, there's no point in doing a 12-kilometer day, and we both realize that. So now it's me. Sign marks the occasion, Trident Lake. Let me just walk up here, give you a little panorama. Look at that. Wow. Isn't that stunning? And then we'll look this way. Oh, baby. Woo! Just gorgeous. A little bit of water and it's moving. There we go, it's all we need. See, nice clean moving water, snow melt probably, what's left of it. So a little break, and then continuing on down that way. There's a couple things to show you on the way too. Said I wanted to show you a couple things. This is the first thing I want to show you and talk about. That's the trail. Now, you look ahead, you're like, where's the trail? Just keep looking down like this and follow the footbed. All right, you don't want to get off. Oh, I'll go over there, it'll be easier. No, maybe it will. But what if you get off the footbed? Well, then you gotta come back and try to find it in these willows. Second thing I want to point out, and I've talked about this before, I'm in a good position right now with regard to animals. The wind is at my back, which means it's blowing my sound when I call out, and my smells forward in the direction I'm traveling. So that those two things in a place where you could be blind are good, very good. So keep your eye on the track and don't get off of it. Right there it is. And keep an eye on the wind. Today the wind is favorable for me as I head down this way. Other days it might be in your face, which means you really got to call out a whole lot more. Hello, hey! One last quick look back. Coming into Mount Creek. Yeah. Nothing but a rock hop. Nice clear water though. Whoops. Almost went over for you. Not even worthy of the Ford cam, so no flashy lights. Coming up to a sign. When I look at my map today, none of my layers show me anywhere near the tracks on the map. Well, right. Well, I see people. I see hats. Wow, that's unexpected. Yeah, let's go see what's going on. Looks like a pretty large horse party. Not park staff, but pretty large horse party. Pretty cool to see people out here. Wow. Well, that's awesome, meeting a horse party here at Indian Head. Oh, I've crossed, I'm having a little break. Really nice people. They're heading that way and I'm heading that way momentarily. This gate can only mean one thing. It's the patrol cabin. Oh, and she's a beauty. Let's go look at that. Well, that looks like a nice new roof. Somebody's been out here doing some work, cement foundation. Over here, another pen for the horses, tack shed, equipment, whatever. Lovely. Let's have a look at this side. Interesting. No porch, but lots of solar. And then outhouse is down this way, and let's hope that's where the trail is as well. I can see a beaten path in the grass, so let's assume. One last look back. Yeah, that's quite the place. That's unusual for a warden's cabin to be built in that way, or a patrol cabin, whatever it is now. We got a moment of truth. Not locked. Should we look inside? Wow, that's a first. Lovely. I mean, I don't need a break right now, but all right, a few more kilometers to the crossing. Just walked out through the other gate. There's their sign. Indian Head Lodge, Banff National Park, and of course in there, no tenting. It's nice when the park puts that there, because then there's no confusion. So that's good. Not that I would know or anything like that, of course, but. Well, I know what this is. It's going to be the park boundary. There it is. Wow. A fine of $100, is that what it says? Or a prison term of 6 months for defacing that sign. Ooh. Oh boy. Anyway, no comment. Yes, and there it is, Clearwater River. That's a big sign for so little information. Let's zoom in here though. You are here. Right. So I'm going to go along a little further outside the park boundary and then cut across. As you can see, I'm going right in there. Clear shot now of the gap. Peters Creek up that way through that notch, up over Divide Pass and down Divide Creek. There's the target, although not tonight. Plan tonight to try to get across Clearwater River and find that horse outfitters camp. Boy, it's horse day out here. There's another one up here, wagging its tail. Just heard it whinnying. Busy spot. Well, I gotta make my way through these guys. I've got a hind feet near me. Yeah, I think I'm going that way. Well, fire burning. Food and booze sitting out. No people. Lots of horses. That's cool to see, actually. That's my first time seeing some sort of outfitter out here. Very cool. Peters Creek. Yes. This way. Almost back to the park boundary. I like to see that. Similar to the south boundary where you exit the park for a short time, but it's well marked. So that's helpful. Not sure if that designated the entry to the park. You would think there'd be a sign, typically. If there is, I'll show you, and if not, next stop will be my assessment of the Clearwater River. Okay, not much going on out here. You can envision these being filled with some water at times. Now, I'm gonna go straight across and see if I can find. Oh, I already see it. There's the hiker sign right ahead. Let me just show you. Oops, a little jiggly. Here we go. There it is, right in the middle of the frame. Let's see what the water's like. Another shot of the hiker sign over there. Trying to find a place to cross. Right there, not a good place. Maybe I'll go up. There's a sandbar and a braid, and I can cut down across there. All right, give me a couple of minutes here. I've walked up a bit, and you can see the water's draining over here. That's an easy place to get onto this. Once I get onto that, I'm going to bring my way down this way to that sandbar. Then I'll have some options. It's going to move pretty good, but I can see through it, and that is a huge help. There is a bit of rock flour in it, but at least if I can see, I can pick out a good route. All right, so I made it across to this area. You can see, if you look closely, it's reasonably shallow there, but there is good flow in a couple of spots. Now, swing around here. Now I'm gonna walk down here and see if I can see the little kind of rapids ahead of me. If I can get across there, I think I can make it. This would not be a smart choice here, folks. If you're, no, that's not where to cross. Even though it's short, it's too swift because it's there at a bend, right? You don't want to do that. But I think maybe right down there. Let's go see. Done. Really, if you pick the right spots to cross, it's a nothing burger. That said, there are some spots there that if you picked across, it would be very difficult, like I just showed you. Now, 800 meters to the old outfitters camp, it says, but I'm going to be scoping for spots to camp here in case I get up there and there's like, it's hard to get water, all that kind of stuff. And squish out my boots. Woo! One big river ford down out of two. Nicely done. That's a blaze going the other way. It has to be. Unfortunately, there's no trail. So I must be either off of it or I don't know. Like, there's horse poop. So this is obviously a path that's been followed. I can see horse tracks and everything. But they just stop and fade. And I'm now going backwards, back toward where I crossed the river to see if I can see any other old flags. Oh my God, thanks to my GPS, I've made it to a trail. I don't know what happened back there, but I'll post the link. This is where you want to be right now. Looks like the old outfitters camp might be up there. And let's hope that the trail, yeah, there we go, is outside, comes out of this camp, because that was 15 minutes of what the heck's going on, Stu? And the maps have not been working. Again, when I post this, if you've got Gaia, have a look where they put the lines on the map. But this is definitely a trail. I see horse. And there's some nice clean water. Yeah, some old firewood. And a stool. All right, I'm gonna look around, and when I finally set up camp, I'm gonna show you around. Poof, baby. Standing on the trail, and boy, it feels good to be standing on the trail. Yeah, anyway, the water source is just over that little kind of, rise right there. I cleaned up, got some great clean water. Eating areas over there. I'm not going to use the area where the old stone fire pit is. It's a little close to where I had to pitch my tent, and I'm going to show you that and explain in a second. I was really looking for somewhere in here, tucked away, a little off the trail, for example, although the trail goes right through the old horse outfitters camp, and out into these meadows. So I looked around, a lot of trees down. I mean, there's a good example. Although this spot right here was attractive to me, I just couldn't make it work. And I'll tell you why it was attractive. It's right on the trail, so that's not helpful. It's in the shade, so I could have had a little lay down in the sun. And this tree going along here can be helpful if another tree were to fall. Anyway, I am tucked out here on the edge of the meadows. Not my first choice. But if you've seen the South Boundary video, for example, here's La Grosse, the campsite on the South Boundary, where you're basically set up right on the trail anyway. That's not really a big deal, but I would have liked to have been a little further tucked away. As I look up at the gap, I'm going to shoot tomorrow, and I'll talk about that when I wrap the day up. But first, it's time for supper, because I am hungry. Oh, I had a great supper, a little bit of a relaxation time, and almost fell asleep at, 6 o'clock. Not a good idea. Some old signage there, some old history. I see White Rabbit Trail and Siffler River. I cannot read anything else that's on there. Who knows where it's all pointing. Now, speaking of pointing, I'm going to do some pointing. I'm going to point you in the direction that we're going to go tomorrow. So, let me get you to the center of the frame here real quick. There we are. See that little white cloud? Over to the left is Condor Peak. And over to the right, just give you a view here, Mount Peters. So, which way do you go? Well, you head toward Condor Peak up the middle, but then we go right. We go around Mount Peters, we do not go left. That is, I think, called Forbidden Creek Trail. And we are forbidden from going there tomorrow because we are trying to get to Divide Pass. And then what will happen? I don't know. So it's going to be a long slog uphill, and you know me, uphill. And once I get up there, I know from Phil, who was just awesome last night and today. Great hanging out with you, Phil. Phil said, you know, there's some creeks and stuff on the other side once you start going down where you can, you know, find a nice place to tuck in and camp. So I'll play that by ear because I think it's about 15K up and then 10K down. And that's the thing. If I get up there and I feel good and I have a nice long break, I might think, you know what? I can get to Red Deer River tonight, which would be a 25K day. Now, once I'm at the pass, that's a whole different ballgame because then, of course, well, it's basically downhill. And, you know, that's a lot easier in the heat of the day. So my plan is this. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to get out early while it's nice and cool and huff and puff my way up. And then we'll see what happens. For me, I don't know what's going to happen for quite a while. For you, you'll know when the title flashes in, well, just a couple of seconds. Well, either way, I'll see you in the morning. Morning, day 4. A little different look to the sky, isn't there? Than even just last night when that full moon was out. Although that moon looked like it had a little bit of, what shall we say? A little bit of smokiness to it. And I was coughing and hacking a bit last night, so that's probably true. Well, you know, but I don't. What's today going to bring? And it's all going to really be up to Peters Creek. Off early as I'd hoped. And no sun yet, so that's good, believe it or not. Hopefully the track will be good. That's the great thing. So a lot of clearing on the Clearwater River Trail, as you saw. I wonder what this one will be like, because I do see some horse tracks through here, but not sure if the patrol would have come this way or not. Seems like a logical route for them, similar to what I'm taking. And we're going to find out together. Well, let's keep an eye on this trail. These meadows are massive. Wow. Definitely man-made, but of no assistance whatsoever. Well, wonder who got you for a souvenir. I wonder what you said. Weird. If you're coming through here, nice guide up there. There it is. Heading toward that sign. Holy fresh. Haha. This is a very good sign. Holy steep. Good morning. Nothing like a kilometer across the meadow and then straight uphill. I'll get you going. Huh. Well, interesting. First glimpse of where I'm going. Oh, and she's a ways up. Woo! That said, I gotta go way down first and find that washout on this trail. And hike it up for a couple kilometers and then find the trail again. And then, you know, the climb continues. Well, I'm descending now very quickly to the flats, and this is almost exactly where I marked it on the map last night, just kind of guessing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture, which will give you the UTM coordinates on the track, and you'll know exactly where to go, within a few meters, obviously, to get back on the trail if you're coming the other way. I'll do the same at the other end when I find it. When I find it, as I said. And you'll have that as well. Had a nice little break here. Looked up there, look at that. Woo! Drainage slide all the way down to here. That's crazy. Probably help this giant washout along here. And I'm gonna go over there and hug the bank. Up to 10 fords of this, according to the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide. Let's count them together. All right, good shot of some flagging on that tree to your right. And if I zoom in, here we go. There's a cairn. All right, off we go. Let's hope this continues. All right, this is interesting. I've got flagging here. I've got an old flag in the tree there. And then I'm looking across and I can barely see a little flagging right there. So that's where they want you to go. This is a bit swift, but it's narrow. It's no big deal. Time to get our feet wet though. All right, number 1. Here comes the forward cam. You ready? Here we go. Number one. Oh yeah, wet. Oh. Might as well stay wet. There's going to be more. Okay, into the woods. I thought I had the camera going. Ford number 2 completed. Oh yeah, there's your markings right there. Ford number 2. We're keeping count. Hello. Well, let's ford her again. Oh, wet feet. Here we go. Woo. And back to the other side. Oh. Okay, here we go. Whoa! Soggy. Oh, she's deep here. Woo! Wow. Why is it so deep? Oh, that's crazy. Good Lord, if you're sensitive to flashing lights, the Ford cam, goodness me. Well, this is the end of her. So, that view. And up here as well, I'll just pan slowly. River's down below me, or the creek I should say, Peters Creek. And here's the trail. And I think that's the end of her, so I'm gonna dry my socks off. In the sun. Sat there in the sun a bit, dried off some things, not for long of course, you gotta keep moving, but I get pruny feet, I get blisters, so I'll keep an eye on them. I know I'm gonna probably have to ford again anyway. I just am optimistic that we're out of this washout area. Pardon the sun, but look at that. Wow, big guy. This meadow's a big guy too. Willowy. Oh, watch yourself. Oh, you all right? Did I get you? Okay, good. New kind of trail marker. Heading over this way. Crossing Peters Creek. We're going to take a long break, dry my socks again, and really fill up on water. And then, obviously, the pass is up there, and there's finally something to see. Lingered there a while. Oh man, did it feel good. I could have just had a nap. Dust storm up there, and I'm going to zoom in. Also animals. I can't tell what they are from here. There's quite a few. Can you? Go ahead, buddy. Walk a little bit. There we go. There we are. Gorgeous animal. Lots of fresh diggings as well. And when I look up here, what is that looking at me? This will be bad. I'll zoom in for you anyway. Yeah, right there in the middle of the frame. What is that? Well, maybe I'll find out. Grizzly bear. Oh boy, and we're charging at me too. Long way off, but charging nonetheless. I'm gonna have to back off here. I'm way up on a hill now, and I have lost sight of that bear. It's not below me, obviously, like near me, but that bear is right down there in the frame, and I can't see it. And it did come out charging, and then stopped, and then went about its business. Digging, I would think. Oh boy. I just need to get a little further that way. fridge. Somehow found a little extra spring in my step to get as far away from that bear as I could. It went back into a big hole, and as I was leaving the area, well, you can't see anything now. I've peeked out, I guess. As I was leaving the area, it came back out and watched me. So either a bear digging for something to eat. Lots of that around, as you can hear the chirping as I go past Chirp Peak over here to my right. Yeah. Or it could be a mom nursing in a daybed with a koi. And, you want to get out of the town if that's the case. So, all right, finally a view. A little smoky today. Nothing we can do about that, of course. But Divide Creek Trail at this point, and a view of the Red Deer River Valley off in the distance. This is crazy. So much fresh digging. Now, I'm going to have to assume it's that bear back there doing the same thing. But you come up on a big deep hole like that bear was in. You're wondering if there's another one doing the same thing, but there was another deep hole back there. And yeah, okay. I'll keep moving. Oh, another deep hole up there, or is that just diggings? Just diggings, okay. I don't like it when I can't see in the hole because, you know, if it's got its rear end sticking out and you freak it out, you know, that wouldn't be good. Look down that. Oh my God. Look at this panorama. I'm not even going that way. Look at that. That's ridiculous. Wow. Wow. Oh. First glimpse of the cabin where I'm going to take a break. I'll zoom in for you. There it is. Down there and water up and ponder my next moves. Let's have a look at this sign. What do we got here? Oh boy. Junction Red Deer River. That direction, 8.4, that sounds right. Cascade Valley 10. Divide Summit, 3.2, that's back the way we came. Clearwater, yeah, from where I've already been. So I'm apparently going that way. However, let's go up here and have a look. All the fresh hoof prints, and I've seen work boot prints. Kind of gives me the impression that I'm correct, that they've been busy out here doing some work. Yeah, I've seen those on the trail, actually, laying to the south boundary. With the rest of the bones not too far away. And the spot here. Oh yeah, I can smell the fresh horse poop. Oh, somebody left the pen open. Doesn't matter. And over here, oh, look at this. I won't be sitting there and having any lunch. There it is. Divide Creek, cabin number 62, Warden Service, Banff National Park. Sitting here, well, I've got pruny feet and the start of a blister, so I thought I'd take some time and fix it up and then go look for a campsite. That could be here somewhere, it could be at the junction of the Red Deer. I don't know, let's just see how it goes. But look at this, I always say wardens get the best views. I'm sitting on the front steps, having a little bit to eat, and looking at this. Now it's blistering hot, but so what? Look at this place. I mean, it's wall to wall. Isn't that insane? Oof, and they were just through. Lucky people, whoever they are. Hard work, very hard work. You think that you're in for the day when you get in and you get all the horse work to do. So it's a hard job in a lot of ways, but what a privilege to be able to do it. At least in my opinion, I'd love to do it for a summer. Anyway, there it is. Wonderful. All right, fix my feet and off we go. Lovely break there. I've been lingering today and I don't care. It's unlike me. I have nowhere to go. Back to the sign. Now, I will start looking for a 5-star campsite, but my criteria have changed a little today. I would never want to camp near the trail, knowing there's a very busy bear just up at the pass doing some digging. Unlikely the bear would come this way. It seems like it has lots of food sources up there, and we'll probably park it up there for the night. But I'd still like to get tucked off the trail quite a ways, and I'll see if something presents itself. Good Lord, what number is this today? I've literally lost track, although I'm going to try to rock hop if I can. I just dried off my socks. You've got to be kidding me. Relentless, up away from Divide Creek. Relentless. Although I think the end is in sight. Then it should be all downhill to the intersection. Finally, I think we've peaked out here. That's grueling. And right as I just subscribed to the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide, but I'm reading it backwards. So, yeah, a little story to tell you when we get to camp and set up, and about route finding today, and a couple of interesting things that happened. But right now, I gotta find a camp. Oh, this certainly looks different. I know it's smoky, but there it is, the valley, up there and to the left. I'll start that tomorrow. Here's the intersection. There's a cairn. Old sign there that's gone. And some, well, that's a jaw. I'm going to go up the trail less than a couple hundred meters where the river bends toward the trail, at least on the map. Maybe that's a spot I can find easy access to water and somewhere to put my tent. Interesting, I just came down the hill and came into the meadow, and then I picked up this old track. Like, this is real. Heading out to the river. Could this be like some old campsite? Oh, I do see horse hooves out here. It's, I don't know, left or right, pick one. Looks like places to pitch a tent. How steep's the bank to the water? But I'll tell you, I'm not going to be fussy right now. Right, there's the red deer. Wow, interesting. They just come out here. Oh, looks like an old horse crossing or something. Oh, look at that. And over there. Well, we're here. Ooh. Oh my God. Yeah. So, let me set up and I'll take you through the day and say goodnight. Oh, look, old campfire pit here. Oh, this couldn't be better. Yeah, look at that. Oh, man. What a day. 25 turned into 28 because I backtracked a little bit to check a sign. Now, here's how tired I was after all that river fording and route finding and just yucky trail on the Peters Creek side. I could have looked at the video of the sign to double check that I was on the right trail. But let me flash up right now the Gaia GPS track of the area I'm talking about. Look where I went, and look where the Gaia, the Canada Topo, and the Backroads Mapbooks Canada trails, look where they show the trail is. You'd be wondering a little bit too, like, but I should have checked with the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide page that I pictured, because it does talk about that descent, which for me is an ascent. I'll get to that in a sec. And I could have double checked it both those ways, but a little extra mileage for the old guy, right? It ended up being 28 and change or something like that. Sorry, we're doing the wind. Yeah, so the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide suggests you do this hike clockwise. I agreed. You can bail at Lake Louise if you have to. Heck, I could bail today at Yahatinda. Well, not today, but I mean soon if I had to as well, because now I'm on the Red Deer River. But the Clearwater Trail and the Peters Divide Creek trails, they hiked in the opposite direction. So it was a bit of a math skills test for me, trying to think, okay, I'm going to hit this when, and I'm like doing all kinds of arithmetic in my tent last night and trying to figure out when the ascents, descents, and fords were going to happen. And I think I'll talk to Brian because I'm confused about the page. I'm going to flash it up quickly. See where it says river flats 1 kilometer, but then you have these 2 kilometers, and then in the description it says 2 to 3 kilometers on the river flats. I don't understand that. Maybe it's just me, but I'll get Brian to explain it to me, and that'll be great. And the bear. Wow, the bear. The bear was interesting because I was calling out as you normally do, and I saw this thing running toward me. all I was doing was calling out. In fact, honestly, I was nowhere near it. You saw the video. I had to zoom in a long ways. If I had to guess, maybe 100 meters, sorry. And then it stopped, and I took a couple more steps because I was like still processing, what am I seeing? Well, then it came at me. And I mean, it charged. But again, didn't get anywhere near me. Then it stopped, put its two front legs stiff like this and looked at me like that. And that's a very aggressive position for a bear. And I knew immediately that, okay, I'm either backing up or I'm giving this thing a wide berth. So I climbed way up on this rise on the left, and I kept walking. And it went back to whatever it was doing, digging. There was a lot of digging up there today, which is why I'm not in that meadow near the patrol cabin. I thought, I don't know which way they're going or what they're doing. So the bear acted as it should have, and I acted as I should have, and of course there was no incident. It did watch me, however, when I started calling out again as I was going up the hill. I thought, well, I better call out again in case there's another bear. It came back out of its hole, and it watched me the whole way up almost till it lost me over that first part of the pass. So anyway, that was quite a day. A mountain pass, a bear, a little bit of route finding, and how many fords? Let's flash it up. Boom, that's how many I did today. And my feet are pruny. Look at this. This is gross, but look anyway. Yeah, so anyway, last night when I hit the pillow and just kind of took a rest at 6 o'clock, I drifted off and could have gone to sleep for the night. That's what I'm going to do right now. I've had my supper. The tent is not quite set up, and when it is, I'm going to lay down. I'm going to go to sleep. So what a day. What a day. What will tomorrow bring? Let's find out together. See you in the morning. Good morning, day 5. Pretty good sleep. Not the best, but pretty good. I think my whole body was just tired. So I tossed and turned a little bit and saw that glorious moon. Wow. That's 3 nights in a row I've had a pretty amazing moon come up. I think things have changed if you look behind me. Yeah, I think we're in for a slight change of the weather. Might see the sun a bit today, but then I think some unsettled weather is probably coming in. And I kind of expected that, but who knows? My Garmin forecast is pretty extreme about what's coming, and my friend Ann has been checking the weather at Lake Louise, not so much. But I'm way ahead of schedule. So speaking of that, today, 2 options. 20 kilometers up to Shingle Flats. Kind of a neat name, Shingle Flats. That's not too far. It's a gradual uphill all the way now to Red Deer Lakes. So if I get to Shingle Flats and it's amazing, I'm going to stop. Then tomorrow to Molar Creek and Pipestone Crossing before that would be about 19 or 20K. If for some reason I feel that I want to go to Red Deer Lakes, it's only 5K past Shingle Flats, and that would shorten the Pipestone Crossing day to 14 or 15 kilometers. So we'll see what happens. But if Shingle Flats is awesome, I mean, look at this place. So just bring you over here for a sec. So there's my tent. There's where I slept on this side of the tent, and there's my view. Right? So I know what I'm going to get at Red Deer Lakes. It's tenting in trees with others, which is fine, and picnic tables, which is nice, because right here, pardon the mess, I have nowhere to sit except on the ground. I mean, I tried that last night, but it just collapses. So who knows? And who knows what we're going to see today? Let's find out. You'd never know I was here, and that's the point. What a lovely little spot. And I'm so lucky to have found it. I mean, look at this established trail. If you know what this was, or if it was anything, just post it in a comment. I'm curious. Very interesting. Okay, back up here, I know, through a little meadow and then a climb up to the ridge. And then it'll be gradually uphill all the way, as I said a few seconds ago. I'm going to take my time today. There's no rush. Maybe some thunderstorms later, according to Garmin. So, of course, that is a consideration as well for getting into camp and getting set up. Just want to show you this from the other angle, 300 meters from where I camped. There's the cairn. There's the trail going up to Divide Pass. There's the jaw. And this is our trail. Well, that's very interesting. There's a trail. That's been groomed. Hey! Hey, hey, hey! Bear lines! Don't wanna meet me. Don't wanna eat me. You're a good bear. Don't wanna get at me. Yep, I'm alone on the trail. That's what I do. McConnell Creek. I'm gonna have to ford this. Oh yeah, for sure. No rock hop this morning, so a little ford, little break. So you're thinking, where do I go? There's a cairn. And across the way, I'll zoom in, so get ready for that. Across the way, you can see a flagging in a tree. Here we go. See it right there? Yeah, right there. So, I know that's where I'm heading. Now, to pick a place across this where I don't get too wet. Well, I'm gonna get wet. No way around it. I'll have to take a little longer break. Here comes the Ford cam. What number is this? We'll check later. Oh yeah, all right. Ah, wet feet. Good morning. Yes. Intersection and milestone, Horseshoe Lake, a mile, or 1.6 kilometers. That way. I have an inkling to come back and explore that and Douglas Lake on another trip. Really don't want to take the time for side excursions on this one, but it'd be fun to come in over Skokie, up over to Red Deer Lakes, and then come down and explore for a few days, those areas. Oh, there's so much out here to see in so little time. 10.3K from where I was last night. Look at this spot. Almost looks like somebody's bedded down here at one point recently. This is lovely. Water right there. I'm going to take a break. Oh, yeah, little area over here for some, whatever. Somewhere to sit anyway. This is a great spot. 10.3 from where I was last night. I'm going to have a little break and get some more water and, well, off that way again. Bushwhacked a bit to avoid this. You see this happening a lot of times. The trail becomes a drainage. That went on for, I don't know, 100 meters or more. So I just came to the right of it. And now we're back on track. Okay, I've come out here looking for where I'm going to go. And look to my right. Oh, look, there it is. Cairns. Now, I'll pick my way over here. This looks like another foot wetter, unfortunately. I'm over halfway to my goal, so I'm not... Ooh, there's a log. What can we do with that? Maybe no Ford cam required. Thank you, log. My feet are dry. Always a bonus. A fork in the road. In my direction, the trail goes right, but in the left side, cabin number 53. Let's go see if they've been here or whether they kept going up to Cyclone. Horse pen does not look like it's been used. Tack shed or supplies beyond it, so obviously they've gone on through. Red Deer River Cabin, yes, number 53. Bears are not welcome. Let's have a look at their view. Without the smoke, that would be even more spectacular, wouldn't it? Yeah, well, I'm glad I came in. Outhouse is over there. And, well, a little fishing line and a little firewood. Don't mind if I do. Back down under the woods to the river. Little section along here before I get to the flats that I thought maybe might work, but not looking so good here. Little sign to show you. Douglas Lake. And this looks like there's an old campsite here. Now let's keep this in mind. So I've got a little work to do to get to the flats. But, oh wow. Yeah, this looked like it might be some sort of campsite. from the past. Yeah, look at this. Oh boy, there's nothing left of her. I mean, where would you tuck a tent? Somebody's built an old fire pit here, right on the edge of the river. And yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's the trail. Look at the color of that water. I'm thirsty too. I'm only down to a couple hundred mils. And that's a filter clogger, so hopefully some cleaner water up ahead. Fingers crossed. Finally descending to the flats, and as I was hoping, the red deer is just rock flower above this. This has got to be glacial fed from my right. I'm going to turn to the right, and I think we're going to be looking at a glacier. It's, well, boy, if I have to cross that, that'll be fun. Yeah, it's a hot day. You can see the difference in the color, I hope. Clear out there, basically in mud here. And there's where the mud's coming from. And there's a cairn. I'm going to have to go across this puppy. Well, there's a show. There's a narrow spot. All right, hang on. There's a track there, and there is one coming down from here, but you'd be nuts to try to cross there today at this point in the day. So this is Shingle Flats, and there is cleaner water coming out of the Red Deer, and I think I'm going to call this a day once I get across this beauty. Holy mother of goodness. Well, a couple of well-placed sandbars. Yeah. Let me scout this out, and we'll do the forward cam. Maybe. Here we go. It's going to be slipped. Now let's see how deep. Not bad. Yeah, she's moving. Hang on, kids. All right, there's one. Wow, that was the easy one. Where are we going here, Billy? Deeper. Oh yes. Keep walking upstream. On the water right here. Baby flies. Oh yes. I'm alive. That was pretty wicked actually. There's actually some clean water, just little trickles coming down the valley here. Let me just give you a panorama of this place. Shingle Flats. I'm out scouting for a campsite for the night, just to make sure I can get tucked in case there's a thunderstorm. I also don't want to be on the trail through here because there's all kinds of prints. So I'm going to assess, and you'll know next. Little shot of where I've placed my tent. I promised you a little tour, not much to show. I mean, there's really, my original thought was to get over here, kind of on the edges, the periphery, but that didn't work for various reasons. The trail is way down there. I'll show you a little perspective when I wrap things up in a bit. Fresh water all around me. That's super clean, and that's been great, actually. Let me just go around in this view I have here at Shingle Flats. So there's Pipestone Mountain. The glacier you see up there is part of the Drummond Glacier field, I guess we'll call it. There is Mount Drummond. Ooh, look up there. I bet you there's some animals up there on that meadow somewhere, don't you think? Over here, we have West Arm, Slipstream, Beret in that direction, and of course, boom, Mount Douglas. I mean, seriously, let's just pan around again from my tent. From Mount Douglas, I should say, back over. Look. I'm sorry about the sun. It's a bit, it's hard to see now because the smoke has rolled back in after receding for a while, but look at that view. This is wild. Well, literally wild. And just spectacular. What a place to spend some time. Anyway, I'm going to, I've shown you around. Now I'm going to we'll kind of get ready for bed, and then we'll wrap it up. Well, that's a wrap on day 5, over 21 kilometers, and you saw what I could show you. I mean, I showed you the beauty. I showed you a bit of the slog, but there was more slog than beauty. A lot of forest walking, very tranquil. I love that. I love the peacefulness of the forest. I'm not addicted to views. You know, I like that part of backpacking, but you know, a couple days of it, and it's like, all right, show me something. And then I got to camp, and boom. I mean, I just showed you my view tonight, and it's stunning and spectacular. And just, I mean, why is there not something here, right? Like, it's just amazing, an amazing place to spend time. Well, I'll tell you why there's probably not much here. It's really hard to find places to put anything. So I did spend a long time wandering around looking for something away from the trail, something maybe tucked in by the trees or tucked in somewhere in case rain came, but now it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And of course, you'd like to be out of sight and out of mind, right? I mean, there are 2 schools of thought to that. The other one is get yourself out there and everybody knows where you are. Well, anything I'm worried about would know I'm here anyway because they can smell me. So I had dinner down here by the river and set up my tent way over there. I'm going to show it to you real quick. It's I hope you can get some perspective, but it's way, can you even see it? Way over there, up on a rise, kind of towards some trees. And I'm coming back to me now. Hello. And my earth sacks are even further up the valley in some trees and things like that. So that's it. It was, listen, it was a great day. Any day you're out here is a great day. And this view tonight, I mean, you can see the perma smile. This is ridiculous. Absolutely stunningly ridiculous. Yeah, and tomorrow, well, you know where we're heading. Molar Creek. Some memories for me and the girls there on the Molar Loop. And hopefully the Pipestone River will behave. And I'll talk more about that in the morning. If it doesn't behave, I've got a plan B. And I'll share that with you in about 5 seconds. And after I have about 8 hours of sleep. See you in the morning. Good morning. Hello, moon. Day 6. Molar Creek or bust. Look at this morning. It's a bluebird. Holy moly. And I wish I could have gotten a picture of the moon for you last night. It was over there as the sun was starting to glow over, well, I can't even show you that. It's too bright, but over that way. Best night's sleep so far. Oh my gosh. Windy though. Woo, getting to sleep was like, every time you kind of doze off, the tent would rumble. And so it was kind of windy, but then that was best night's sleep so far. And of course, I had to keep the flaps closed because the wind was whipping through. I don't know if you can pick this up. Look at the condensation. Can you see that? I hope so. There's a ton of it in there. Look at that's inside, by the way. That's not outside, that's inside. And that's because I had the flaps closed. So, whoa, good morning. Oh, is that ever bright? Let's go this way. How's that? Anyway, here's the plan. 19K or so to Molar Creek, and that's the goal. Have to get across the Pipestone. I have a feeling some of it is glacial fed from some of its, feeds off the mountains, like over here. So it'll probably pick up pretty good late in the afternoon, I think. If I can't get across, I'm going to stay there. Not at the cabin. I'll go find somewhere close by and I'll park it overnight because then I'll ford tomorrow morning and get out to the car. So I'm still on schedule, right? It only adds about 3K to the last day. And so, you know, what's that? 21.5 kilometers or something, which is what I did yesterday. So that's the plan. But I think we'll get across the Pipestone. I'm optimistic. And, well, who wouldn't be looking at that? Man, good morning. Show you a little marker here. Gotta turn around. Natural bridge. 1.5 miles that way. And we'll save that for that exploration hike I'm thinking about. Douglas Lake, Skeleton Lake. But I believe now we're on the Natural Bridge Trail proper. And that's the end of the Upper Red Deer River Trail, I think. So, little milestone there. And the next one will be, I think, well, the cabin. And then the intersection I saw when I did the Skokie Loop. I'll show you that. Lots more woods walking, I think, before then. Well, must be getting close to our first milestone of the day. Cyclone. And you can see these are new. You see these drift fences in other places, they're all just falling down. But not this one, it's in use. I've met parties coming out to Cyclone. Let's go see. Well, I finally get to see this landmark. Haha! Woo! Cyclone. Let's walk in and I will, I'm going to show you too. Horse pen in behind. Storage, of course. Here's the cabin. Love how they're putting solar out here now. It's excellent. Helps them out. Oh man, I've been waiting to see this for so long. Geeky nerdy stew. Look at this. Cyclone cabin. What a perfect spot for a break. And what's interesting to me, no bear spikes. That's fascinating. Wonder if it's just that they're out here often enough. Huh. All right, I'm gonna take a break here and then we're kind of heading toward that gap and around, but we're not going through that gap. Just kind of toward it and then we'll make a big right. You actually want to bear right out of the warden's cabin to go to the direction I'm going. If you bear left, of course, that'll take you in a different direction as well. Good trail up there. Kind of brings you around into Red Deer Lakes a different way. Probably for the horses. Anyway, I'll show you that next milestone in just a second. Just what I was talking about. I showed you this. I'm going to flash up the link. This exact site on the Skokie Loop hike that I did this summer. I even showed you this sign. And yeah, I was right. This is the entrance back from the Upper Red Deer River Trail. Here's the other look. It says Pipestone River, Baker Lake. Going this way, there'll be an intersection up here, which I also showed you in that video, where I intersect the little Pipestone Trail. Another cabin down there, so hopefully, other than willow bashing, which I'm expecting, they've done a little maintenance on that trail as well. But I know at the end of the hike, if Molar Creek's anything like it was 6 years ago, it's gonna be rough. But that comes at the very end, if and when I get across the Pipestone, so no big deal there. Lots to do before that. There's the intersection. Pipestone and Skokie. Going this way, can start to get a glimpse of our goal. Well, not today, but tomorrow. Let's see what this trail's like. Little Pipestone. Willow, when we were together. Willow, when my pants were new. Helpful little cairn. A little tricky back there through the washouts. But pretty easy to follow, really. I am following horses again. Reasonably fresh poop, which bodes well for this trail then. And would make me think they'd go up over maybe they might go up over Molar Pass, making Molar Creek. You know, maybe they've gone through and done a little cutting there, so might be my lucky week. Interesting little intersection. Little Pipestone Horse Camp. Huh. That's not showing on my map. Interesting. Little look back to the Skokie area. Okay, a couple of interesting things here. First of all, if you're coming up from Pipestone, there's your options. You can go to Red Deer Lake straight or over to Merlin Meadows. Then over here, here's an old Parks Canada easel. I guess there's nothing on it. There was something on it. Oh, let's have a look at this. Nothing. Some sort of old closure. That's super old. Interesting. Well, I'm glad it's not closed now. That would be heading back to Merlin Meadows. All right. You know you must be at a major intersection when they have signs going both ways. What do we got here? Right, so Lake Louise, I can head down that way. Fish Lakes, Molar Pass, Pipestone, I'm going that way. See what it says over here? Right, Merlin Meadows, Skokie, Deception Pass, Red Deer Lakes. It looks like they've given up putting mileages on Red Deer River and Skokie Lodge. So I'm going to water up here in this beautiful, clean little pipestone, have some water, and then head very shortly over that way to the ford and the cabin. A couple of milestones here. First, the cabin. Last time I saw this was 6 years ago with the girls on the Molar Loop. We saw it from the other side of the pipestone. That'll be milestone number 2. I'll just hold on to that one for a sec and show you the cabin. Some fresh cutting. I know they've been out. As I've said many times, I'm pretty lucky. There it is. Look at that. No sign. That's very interesting. Ooh, some damage. I think that's that tree that, yeah, I think this tree fell and damaged the cabin. And they've been in and fixed it, sort of. There's your no camping sign. There's your Pipestone River. And I think the crossing is right over there. Let's have a look at this baby. I think it's going to be a piece of cake. So the water levels I flashed up earlier, the historic levels that they measure down near Lake Louise, we're right on the money. This is a nothing burger. I mean, listen, honestly, you still got to pay attention. I mean, that's deep and it's moving, but I just go across there to those rocks and then down there and then across. This is, this is boot wet time, but hallelujah. I'm just going to take a second and then we'll do the ford cam. Here we go. It's going to be deep here. You can see it, probably past my knees. Just one step at a time in a situation like this. Look down to put your feet and then look straight ahead. This is going to be the deepest part right here. I'm going to try to avoid it by going a little downstream. Get my foot over a rock. There's that rock. All right, now this is the deepest part. I'm going to try to go across it slowly, and I'm already through it. See? Pretty easy. That was up above my knees, mid-thigh, but there's no flow. That's the key. Had that been moving faster, it'd be a lot more of a challenge. Now, down there, the natural place to cross, I can see the water coming in and making a deep spot, so I'm just going to go straight over here. I'm already soaking wet, and that's how you ford the pipestone when she's low. Hallelujah. Second ford. Completed. I'm over here to find the trail to Molar. I'm going to take a break, obviously, and dry off. I know the next few kilometers are going to be very challenging because I've done it. Unless they've come in and done some work. Pardon the jiggly video. You could random camp here in an emergency situation. I think we're certainly out of the random camping zone, but in an emergency, certainly you've seen that people have done it waiting to ford the pipestone. Remember, your safety is your responsibility out here. Well, we say leave no trace, but my goodness, that must have been uncomfortable. Later? Listen, just to elaborate, seriously, the only place in the backcountry in the random zones you're allowed to have a campfire are places with steel campfire rings. That's just the park rule. I ain't judging. Just letting you know, there's a lot of fire pits around that have been made with stones. Technically, not for you. But, I don't make the rules. I don't say you should break them. Here's the sign. Yes, we're going off through the willows, so nothing's been brushed back. MO 16, so we're going in this way. Pretty sure that this is the entrance to it here. Oh, sometimes after a break. All right. This trail is going to be rough, and I'm going to be slow. There she is there. Remember what I said, look for these treads? So we're going down that way, make a right, and then I think we have a little bit of a climb. And the trail's going to be rough, and I'm going to be slow. So it should be less than 5K. Let's see how long it takes. Yay, Banff. They have been up this way this year. That's fresh. So last time I'll mention it, I'm a lucky boy. And there hasn't been that much deadfall, honestly. Not like up in Jasper from the June snows this year, but so great to have a trail crew out here. Or if it's just horsemen going through, I just think that's awesome. And I certainly appreciate it. Finally, after the willow massage of the century. Now, my feet are already wet, so I don't care. I'm less than 2K from camp. I'm not going to bother with this at this point. I'm going to keep moving because I know that I've got a few of these to do from my recollection. So this does qualify. You know for what. Here we go. Case in point, and look at how deep that is. Oh, holy mackerel, does that ever drop off? Let's see if we can do better out here. Yes, see, look around. That was deep. Some good movement to her. Oh yeah, good flow. A giant piece of glacier just dropped. I'll zoom in, you can see a little bit at the bottom there. Wow. Campsite should be straight ahead, more or less. I remember the last couple kilometers, I think we walked in our Crocs after that initial waterford because we knew we had lots to do. And this should be the end of me today doing this. Okay, let's have a look. Boy, this Molar Creek gets deep in places. This isn't bad, but it's going to be knees right here. Yep. Wow. Amazing. Where's that sign? Because I know exactly where I'm going this time. I'm in a little different angle. Here I am. Oh, my goodness. I guess they want you to, or expect you to ford here, right by the sign. Let's go see if we have any company and get set up for the night, and then I'll show you around, see if anything's changed. Molar Creek. Wow, memories. This is amazing for me. Thanks for tagging along. Still nobody here, so a quick little tour around Molar Creek. Right past the sign here, you'll see the first tent pad and campsite. The first thing you'll notice here is that, yes, there's your eating area and there's your tent pad. Quite a bit different than some of the other areas in Banff where everything's separated. And that's because probably the higher concentration of grizzly bears in the area eating with food sources. Just past that, we're going to head back to the food storage. And I'm going to fast forward and show you that after I walk about 100 steps. Well, okay, about 50 steps up, there's the outhouse. And now you can see the bear hangs straight ahead. No need to go all the way up, right? It is the pulley and cable system. And I'm glad to see that everybody has attached their cables back to the poles to protect wildlife. So, again, back down this way to where we came from. There's the outhouse again. There's the sign to the food storage, and beyond that, the sign to the campground. When we get there, I'm going to make a left. Here's the sign, here's the left. Gorgeous view down the valley, look at that. The pass is that way tomorrow. And there is, by the way, there's Hector Glacier. And Hector's calving some stuff today, man. There's been some booming going on 4 or 5 times. And you think it's thunder, but no, it's not thunder. It's the glacier and the rocks coming off in the heat. As I showed you when I walked in, this is the campsite we had years and years ago. I think it was 6 years now and change. I'm all set up, ready for the night. Pardon the mess, as I always say. But I'm bringing you back through here because I do want to show you something I never showed you before. The other tent pads. Come this way. Spread out nicely, actually. There's another tent pad. So that's the third one we've seen. You can see they've been in doing some work. Dead trees. That will come up later because there's a lot of them around my campsite, which I'll file in a report that are ready to come down. Okay, that's our third tent pad. Here's our fourth tent pad. Way back here. And over there, tent pad number 5. So 5. And Molar Creek, not a very popular spot, to be honest. When I looked at August, for example, to see if I had flexibility on the Clearwater Red Deer Circuit, there was not a night in August you couldn't have a tent pad. Unlike Fish Lakes and Mosquito, just over the other side of the mountain there. So anyway, there's your tour of Molar Creek. It is a gorgeous little spot, and it really is. And the sense of isolation is only 18 and change from the car. And it does feel isolated out here and wild. And I think that's pretty awesome for an established campsite with all these facilities. All right, a couple more things today. The usual Stu talks at the end of the video about stuff. And then, of course, supper and wrap it up with that view. Well, the Clearwater Red Deer Circuit, I'll keep this short. Just a few things I want to touch on, including water levels. That's the first thing. And this will touch in 2 different ways. Monitor the river levels, especially the pipestone, because, well, not especially the pipestone, but you can monitor it near where you're going to cross, relatively speaking. And as I've already said many times in the video, I knew water levels were low and shouldn't be any big deal. And obviously today, it really wasn't. Clearwater was the same. You had to pick your spots there, as I showed you in the video, but those are the 2 things you want to look for when planning this trip. But when the water levels are low like they are now, you lose a lot of the little creeks and streams you would have along the way to fill up your water. So every time you stop, tank up, especially if you're a guy like me who has a B-free and a 600 mil hydro pack to go with it. I have another 600 mil that I can fill up if I want to, but I was expecting there to be more water. A lot of dry spots on the, after you get up past all the water on Peters Creek, a lot of dry spots down Divide Creek as well, like the last, I don't know, it felt like the last 7 or 8K, there was no water at all. And even up the upper Red Deer. And here on the little pipestone, you think, oh, the little pipestone, I'm going to follow it. You are, but it's nowhere near you. So be aware that when water levels are low for crossing, they may also be low in those little streams you might top up on along the way. Just kind of do that for planning. Speaking of planning, the Canadian Rockies Trail Guide. I know I'm a broken record. It's my go-to, and I needed it on this hike. And I would continue to recommend hiking this in the clockwise direction, because you could bail at Lake Louise through Skokie, or perhaps even where I showed you today if that trail's still in pretty good shape and maintained. There are ways out of here if you have an issue if you go in that direction. If you go the other direction, you could bail at Yaha Tinda, and then you kind of have some issues after that. So I agree with that 100%. Now, keep in mind that when they actually hiked the Clearwater River Trail and they hiked the Peters Creek Divide Creek Trail, they went in the opposite direction of clockwise. They came up the valley, or they came over Divide first and went down Peters Creek. So I had to do math and figure out what all the the landmarks were in their calculations, and you should do the same as well, just so you know kind of what you're up against, and it doesn't lead to any issues or situations. But I think you should read the book if you're going to do a hike like this. Highly, highly recommended. Any of these epic hikes in the Rockies of this length, read the book for research. They hiked it. They made notes. They still stand today, especially the latest edition, which is completely updated. Last thing, regulations in Banff National Park in the random zone. So, first thing, fires. You're allowed to have fires in any campsite where there's a fire ring made out of steel, like there is tonight. But I'm at a bookable campsite, not a random campsite, and there were no fire pits of that kind in any of the areas I saw on this hike. So, technically, no fires. What you will see are stone fire pits that people built. And I'm not a park warden, but I will say that I try to obey the rules when I know them. And if you read the permit carefully, this is what it says. You also have to have a bear-resistant container. And I carry Ursacks. They're perfect for this type of trip. You could bring a hard-sided container as well. No matter which one you choose, make sure you know how to use it. I think the Ursack is superior because of the way it fits in your backpack if you know how to tie it. So learn, if you have an Ursack, how to tie it. Go watch the manufacturer's video. It's actually super, super simple. I have thousands of kilometers
on trails with bears with these. I've never had an issue whatsoever. And I'm a little miffed sometimes at Yellowstone and Yosemite for being the outliers, not approving an URSAC, even though the Interagency Grizzly Committee, if I've got that right, they've approved these and tested them. So it's interesting when parks go against an agency they belong to's recommendations. But anyway, that's irrelevant. The point is, you will need a bear-resistant container here that's approved by the IGC and Banff National Park. That's it. That's all I'm going to share with you about trip planning and stuff. I think I shared a lot along the way. You know, we'll wrap it up tomorrow. How's the hike and all that stuff. But again, when it comes to planning, message me. Send me an email. Make a comment. I will eventually share the tracks once I get them cleaned up a little bit from a little bit of my meandering, which shouldn't impact you. But yeah, any questions at all, just let me know. 145K. Bring 10 days worth of stuff. Linger if you like. For some reason, I just got motoring. And here I am in the night of day 6 with, Molar Pass and the hike to the car tomorrow. So, Clearwater Red Deer Circuit. Now it's time for supper.
Well, that's a wrap. Another epic day. Some folks have rolled in and a little bit of rain came down, so I tucked in the tent. Busy folks getting set up and that sort of thing. So good to see people again. And sure I'll see lots tomorrow on the way out. Going to get up early, because it's quite a climb up to Molar Pass. I think it's in the 8K range. It's going to be spectacular when we get there. And then it's all downhill to the car. I think the whole day will be about 18 and change, but you'll find out in 5 seconds. And I'll find out when the day's over tomorrow. But first, little sleep. See you in the morning.
Bright and early on getaway day. Sun is, it's up, just not up over those mountains. And so it's a bit chilly and it's wet. Remember I said a few sprinkles a few seconds ago? No, thunderstorms. Tent is wet inside and out, which is no big deal, but I'll tell you what's going to be wet. All the willows up in there that I remember that are as high as my head. It's going to be a wet start to the morning. Well, it's going to be wet anyway, so I've got to cross Molar Creek. As always, first thing in the morning, I'll use my camp shoes on something simple like that, so I can keep my boots as dry as possible, although they never dried out yesterday after Molar Creeking it for a couple of kilometers, so no big deal. Anyway, target is that way, Molar Pass, and should be quite a climb, probably a little slow, but then of course down to the car will be pretty fast. Trail's good, and I'll be motivated finishing up the Clearwater Red Deer Circuit. So lots of good memories here with the girls, as I said yesterday. And of course, as we go up here, there's some iconic pictures in the family that I remember in my head and that I even have on my phone. And it'll be really cool to see that again. And it'll also be cool to finish the Clearwater Red Deer Circuit. Oh, fingers crossed. Never jinx yourself till you're to the car. Anyway, time for some coffee. And warm up before I have to do that, because what I remember is that's cold. All right, a couple little braids here. Oh, baby. This is cold. Oh, yeah. Oh, mother of God. Okay, where did my legs go? Everything from the knees down is gone. Oh, here we go again. Okay. All right. I'll be back after this commercial message. Tail end of that big boom. Did you hear that? Hector, what are you doing up there, buddy? It's early. First little bit of sun. All right, I've come out and I'm trying to intersect the track that we found last time. I'm pretty much on it. They change every year. Of course, the trails become drainages, as I've showed you in this video, so I know where I'm going. And I think I got it right over here. After 1.83 kilometers of mostly in the swamp, the meadow, this is where we cut up now. So you got 1.83 out of that distance with no real elevation gain. So the fun begins here shortly. I've just come down this way and I want to show you something. So you think the trail's going to go that way, and at one point I'm sure it did, but it's now just a big old water flow. So turn left. We're going to take an alternate crossing here. You know, you can see people's boots, old boot marks and stuff. You got a ford here. And head over, I think right about there, and then down this way. So let's do that. Find a place where I can keep somewhat dry. Some flagging here and a cairn, but we can see the work that's about to begin. Here comes the steep part. Had a nice little break here. Tried to dry some stuff off, but the sun is not cooperating once I got to this part of the trail. Just so many little clouds. Anyway, I got somewhat dry, a little view down the valley there. Pretty sure this is where the girls and I took a break as well, after some pretty steep switchbacks. I'm less than 2K from the summit, so that's great. Can't wait to get up here in the meadow though. It's really pretty and lots to see on your way up. So you're gonna see that too, hopefully momentarily. Don't slip. Gosh, that was not momentarily at all. That was a lovely uphill. Now into the meadows. Beautiful wildflowers here as well. A little different variety than North Molar Pass when they're in bloom. Of course, I've missed the bloom by a number of weeks for sure, except for a few of these beautiful little fellas. Oh. Oh gosh, that's beautiful. One look back, last look back. There's your cairn to mark the spot. Nice place to sit. Look, somebody's made a couple of seats. That's nice. I'm gonna go sit where the girls and I sat. Hello, Molar. I'm gonna go back and sit where we sat, and where I can see the downhill. Just up there. 5th mountain pass complete on the Clearwater Red Deer Circuit. Oh, baby, baby. I'm going to take a little break up here and ring up my socks, have a little snack, and then head down. 10.5 to the car-ish. And next big milestone, I'll take another break at Mosquito campsite. But yeah, great memories here with the girls. I keep saying that, and I'm sorry, but I can't help it. I'm a proud dad. And those are memories I'll have forever, however long that is. Including that. Look at that. Woo! Listen to the amount of birds in the trees here. Hundreds and hundreds. There we are. Coming back to the signs from the other direction. I'll turn around and show you. North Molar Pass, and the signs. Wow, just a hop, skip, and a jump to Mosquito Creek campsite where I'll take another short break. And that'll be about the 140 kilometer mark. And then, really, 5K walk in the park. Back to the trailhead. Oh wow, what's this weird looking device? I think there's a name for it, but I forget. Hello, Mosquito Creek Camp. Last pit stop. And then about an hour to the car. This marks around the 140 kilometer range. Wow. I was just here a week ago. Nice little break, and you know, I just wanted to say something that should be obvious to most of us, but never hurts to repeat. You can see the trail right now with these roots and rocks, right? This is actually picky. So you get to the 5K mark to the end of a hike like this, and you want to just run to the car. I mean, you know, I don't mean to sound like I don't want to be out here. That's obviously not. But at this point, you're 5K from the car. You've seen this trail a whole bunch of times, and you want to get there, you know, to the next thing. But you can't rush, because the last thing you want to do is, you know, pull a back foot forward and trip on one of these roots or rocks 5K from the trailhead after being safe through a lot worse for 140 kilometers. So I will be going quickly, but I won't be going fast, because I want to watch my step. Anyway, just something to think about when you get to the end of these long hikes and you're like, the end is near. Take it easy and just stay focused. You will get there. There it is. Clearwater Red Deer Circuit. As of this second, boom, complete. Oh, look, a pot. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cross the road right over there, get rid of these wet boots, and let's find out how's the hike. Oh man.
Well, pardon the noise. The parking lot is full and the traffic is busy. It's a Sunday. And yeah, 145 kilometers in 7 days, the Clearwater Red Deer Circuit complete, and epic. Just epic. I mean, day one, I'm going up to Fish Lakes over North Motor Pass, which is stunning. And then I run into John and Helen from the Brazo Loop. So that gave me a little extra spring in my step, and that was cool. Day two, I met Phil. Phil, you rock, dude. I mean, really, like, this guy's epic hiker out here, and just what a great guy to hang out with. And I'm sorry we kind of jumbled our plans up a bit, but as you can see now, I mean, I made some pretty long days because the conditions allowed, and Phil was super flexible, and I really enjoyed spending time with you, man. And seeing the Pipestone Pass and Clearwater Pass that day, those were passes 2 and 3 at this point. And of course, hearing that wolf pack, that was really cool. We heard Phil and I kind of hearing something right off in the distance, and then all of a sudden you hear them all going. It was like, wow, that was so cool. And of course, our campsite that night was pretty awesome. Day 3, getting across the Clearwater River solo. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I thought it could be iffy. It wasn't bad at all. It was actually quite easy. Water levels were low, as I've talked about a lot. And that's when you try to time these hikes, right? And then finding the outfitter camp. That took a while. It was like, I'm like among Garmin saying, hey, you know, where is this thing? So that was cool. And then the next day, well, that was a bit of a slog. Peters Creek, that was hard. A lot of fording. It was fun at first, and then once you get back up into the woods, heading toward Divide Pass, well, I mean, the trail was very difficult. And then, of course, the bear. So again, you're kind of slogging along, and then you have this encounter with the bear, and all of a sudden you've got, you know, energy again. And that whole area was full of animals, and that bear's behavior was a little bit interesting, how territorial it was from such a distance. You know, if I use the word bluff charge, I'm only using it because that's the kind of speed and the tack they take when they come towards you. But this bear stopped well short of me, and typically if it's a close-up bluff charge, they're going to go left or right quickly just at the end before they get to you. Stand your ground. Yeah, so that was that day. And then, of course, after such a long day, getting down and seeing that beautiful cabin, and then finally finding the trail and heading down, had a great campsite on the Red Deer River with my vestibule open to the river, which was really cool, an old campsite. Next day up, Red Deer River Trail was great. Shingle Flats. What else can I say? Shingle Flats. That campsite, I wasn't even going to stay there. I got there, I'm like, well, I'll have a cup of soup and maybe I'll go up to Red Deer Lakes. I'm so glad I stayed. Oh, the views. What a night. It was my best night's sleep, and it was a stunning place to wake up. And I would love to go back to Shingle Flats. That was phenomenal. Then, of course, getting across the Pipestone River yesterday, that was a nothing burger, really. Water levels are low, like I said, but still a milestone for me. And, of course, bookends, first day, last day, Fish Lakes, and Molar Creek, that whole experience coming up over Molar Pass today. Lots of memories with the girls. Their first hike in the Rockies when we did the Molar Loop together. And it just made great scenic and very heartfelt bookends for me. So, wow. The Clearwater Red Deer Circuit. 145-ish kilometers. I'll flash it up now. That's what I tracked. And it's done. Another epic trip in the books. Cha-ching! If you have any questions or comments, and you probably will have questions if you're going to do this hike, leave me in the comments section below so we can try to help others, or PM me, send me an email. You can find it here on YouTube, my email for the channel, and let me know what's on your mind, and I'll be happy to help. And as always, thank you. Thank you for keeping me company on this long trip that I was mostly alone on. I really appreciate it. And as always, see you next time.